Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, sees The Return of Michael Myers. It's directed by Dwight H. Little. And yeah, it is a sequel to the second. It's the sequel to the second Halloween movie, Halloween 2, as Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Really, he was very absent. It marks, this film, marks the return of Michael Myers as the primary antagonist. Michael is back, following his absence in the third film, Season of the Witch, and focuses on his return to Haddonfield to his young niece, Jamie Lloyd, a decade after his first killing spree. So initially, John Carpenter and co-producer Deborah Hill intended to create an anthology series with only the first two films being connected, but after the poor reception of Halloween 3 and the absence, as I mentioned over and over again in my review for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, go check that out, by the way. I just very, very recently posted it, my review for Halloween 3. But anyway, following, people miss Michael Myers, and they did not like, I'm sure some people understood, but they didn't like Halloween 3 and how it turned out to be. Um, you know, the idea for that anthology series, and with only the first two films being connected was just straight up abandoned. And we got screenwriter Elroy was hired to rework Dennis Etchison's original screenplay, reintroducing Michael Myers as a living antagonist. So yeah, the thing about Halloween, if you guys haven't checked my review for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, or no, it wasn't Halloween 3, now that I'm thinking about it. It was Halloween 2. If you guys did not check my review for Halloween 2, in that video, I mentioned that starting with Halloween 2, like that sequel, that second movie, going forward and onwards, this whole franchise just went downhill. And it happened to the Friday the 13th. Um it happened to Friday the 13th, similarly, and the Saw movies and the Texas. Well, I haven't seen Texas Chainsaw, like any of the movies, in a very long time, so I really have to rewatch the Texas Chainsaw movies to refreshen and to refreshen, my memories, and to really remember those films. But yeah, like, slasher films just went downhill. It's not just the Halloween franchise, but like I said, Friday the 13th, for example, that franchise just went downhill. Like, the first three movies were solid, pretty good, pretty good. People love the first three Friday the 13th movies. The first one with Pamela Voorhees, Mrs. Voorhees, and then the second one with Jason, introducing for the very first time Jason Voorhees with the bag mask, and then his iconic hockey mask in the third film. But after the third film, like, the Friday the 13th movies just went downhill. And the same thing with the Saw movies. Like, after the first three Saw movies, after Saw 3, like, the whole franchise just went into shit. It's like garbage after garbage, dumpster fire after dumpster fire, except Saw X. Saw X was really good. It was right up there. It's right up there with the second one. It's on par with the second one. I might even, in my opinion, I know a lot of people love the first Saw movie and they hold it very close to their heart, but I think Saw X is better than the original Saw film. But anyway, enough about that. Slightly, I'm going off topic. But yeah, let's go back to Halloween 4, the title of this video and this review. Yeah, like I said, just it's just this movie is garbage. It's not good. It's not a good movie. Um, I just it's I do like Michael Myers coming back. I do like I do like Michael Myers, coming back and seeing, and now it seems like in this movie, and it seems like in this movie, it seems like in this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis is absent, and it's focusing on Dr. Sam Loomis and this girl, Jamie Lloyd, who has some connection to Michael Myers. If I, no spoilers. But like this movie, even though it's good to see Michael Myers back after that very bad, even after that very bad Halloween 3 Season of the Witch movie, even though it's great to see him back, the masked killer, um, this movie just fails at like so many at like on so many levels with the scares. It's not there's nothing there's no originality to this film. There's no inventiveness. There's just nothing. Um, then the film, it fails. Like it abandons the original film's strengths, and what made the first film, like the original Halloween film, so great. Like that, the first Halloween film has that suspense and that psychological horror, um, and that superhuman psychological horror that this film is very much lacking of. I mean, there's so many. It's bad. It feels like a very cheap knockoff. A very cheap knockoff. It's not visceral. There's nothing. I extremely, I very much, extremely dislike this film. And the writing, I mean, it has so many cliches. This movie, like the writing, has so many cliches. It doesn't really pass for a story. Um, I mean, it's not scary. This movie is not scary. Um, I thought, well, one thing I will say is that the twist in this film was pretty clever. I will put it that way. I will give it that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's distasteful. This movie is distasteful. I mean, having this killer going after this little girl and just killing and racking everybody who comes in between. I mean, I will say this: the little girl, the actress who played the little girl, Lloyd. I believe that's the character's last name. Um, I, it was pretty good. It was very effect. Her acting was it had a very it had a very effective. She gave a very affecting performance. But even though she's in this very poorly made movie, but her acting was very convincing in my opinion. The little girl, the little actress, gave a very convincing performance. But I mean, but like the story and like the script and like the screenplay, whichever word or term, whichever word you want to use, it just comes down to like it's predictable. Like the story is very predictable. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone. Um, there are some positive attributes, sure, but like it's just like the acting and the performance is pretty average. I will say that's as far as I can go. With that's pretty much all I have to say for this film. Um, and so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much it. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny, but after this movie, you know, in retrospective years, after all these years, people have gone back with these films and really reanalyze these movies and really break this movie down. Um, when it initially came out, it got a lot of negative reviews from critics. It grossed $17.8 million domestically on a budget of $5 million. But like over the years, this film has developed a very strong cult following since it's released, and it seems like people have really enjoyed this film after all these years and after reanalyzing this movie and rewatching it. I don't really see what you guys see, what those people see. I don't know if they're the same critics who saw the movie when they were younger. But like I still don't see it. I still don't see it. But yeah, this movie, following its release, this film received some positive, not a lot, just some positive retrospective, reception. Several critics praised this movie, and they love the strong atmosphere and the slasher elements. And they commented, so many critics from from different, publisher and article, websites and journalist outlets and medias and all that. They commented that they loved the film's atmosphere, the the gloomness of it all. I will say the music. I will give them that. The atmosphere is very gloomy. Um, I do like the worn out Halloween decorations and the ominous music that plays over, the opening shots of the film, and really sets the tone of the movie and the return of the beloved Michael Myers, the antagonist. But yeah, mm, but yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. Um, Thank you so much, everyone, for taking time to listen to my review, my thoughts on Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. Stay tuned, real soon. My review for Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank you so much, everyone, for taking time to listening to my review, my thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe because that would help me and my YouTube channel out a lot. I appreciate your support, your love, your enthusiasm, all of it, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.